Released on September 9th, 2016 for PC by Cartboard Games, we have the indie game Calm Down Stalin. Playing as the leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin, the game puts you through a number of stages where you threaten your enemies by keeping your finger close to the button, while having to deal with a number of other distractions. In the game, you control Stalin's arms in order to keep all-out war from breaking loose for a certain amount of time, failing only when you hit the button, or the enemy invasion timer reaches 12. But is the game any good? Find out in The Good. The game I found can be quite challenging in later levels, as Stalin has to deal with more things such as firing a gun or stamping papers. With each stage, the time required to complete the stage only gets longer, meaning Stalin has to keep up with the multitasking. Other things you need to worry about include Stalin's state integrity, tiredness and stress levels. In order to progress in the game, you need to have a certain level of state integrity, and if you don't have enough, or if it drops below the threshold needed to complete the stage, you'll need to play another stage to bring it back up. State integrity can be maintained by picking up the phone and talking on it until the caller hangs up, shooting targets successfully, and stamping papers with the correct stamp. Tiredness and stress levels affect how steady Stalin's hands are, and if both are high, you'll find it much more difficult to hover your hands over the button without accidentally pressing it. Tiredness can be reduced in certain levels, and stress can be reduced by smoking from a pipe or drinking vodka, with the latter only being available once per stage. The game really likes to keep you busy through juggling things to see if you can keep up. Later on in the game, you'll also receive a bust of Vladimir Lenin you can use to make the invasion timer go backwards faster than hovering over the button with your hand, at the cost of being heavier and harder to control. There's also an endless mode if you want to see how long you last and see how you stack up against other people too. But with all things good, there's always the bad. I found the game's physics to be somewhat inconsistent. While I can fail the level by dropping the phone or Lenin's bust onto the button, sometimes I've had the phone somehow land on it, or even the gun, while other times the gun will harmlessly land on the button with no consequence. In later levels, this can be a little frustrating, especially since a lot of the time it's out of nowhere and to an extent beyond your control, and if you're right at the end of the level, it just makes it that much more annoying. Outside of that, I really don't have much else to add here, since the game in general is quite simplistic. So I think I'll give the opinion. Calm Down Stalin is a simple game with a simple purpose. Don't press the button. Just threaten to press the button. The game does it pretty well and is more or less designed as a time waster, and for $3.99 USD, you can't really go wrong. It's a good way to kill a couple of hours. Now before I forget, the game was gifted to me by a friend who wishes to remain anonymous, so thanks again Phil, greatly appreciated. And with that, it's time for my rating. Calm Down Stalin gets the Tsar Bomber out of 10, despite the fact the Tsar Bomber was tested around 8 years after Stalin's death. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next Infinite Backlog review. If you enjoyed today's review, feel free to check out some of our other videos and subscribe for more. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram and our Facebook page. Once again, thank you for watching.